Hi guys, Shelly Fitzgerald, SoShelly.com. So I want to invite you to still join Software with Shelly 2024. Use the coupon code Morgan for a 10% discount. And the following content on 3 ways to use Fabric in BERNINA version 9 software is just an example of the content that's in that software course. The course never goes away. You're not too late. There'll be new content added through November of 2024, and I hope you join us. See you there. All right, guys, let's talk about Fabric. There's 3 ways that we look at different Fabric information in BERNINA version 9 software. With the Creator version, there's 2 ways that we look at Fabric. So let's look at the first Fabric setting, and that we would find in the word design. And if we came down to the word fabric, this is not what most of you are thinking of when you think of fabric. This is not necessarily visual or a picture of fabric. This is the different fabric settings that are included that change how the software behaves by default. I'm going to click in this right here, Apply Fabric, and see the drop down, and you'll see that there are 8 built-in fabric types, and they also have a lock. We can't change these. We could make our own custom fabric types, and that would work. But these we cannot change the type on. So I'm going to bring in another thing to look at. Let me cancel this. And I'm going to show you really quick. This is the online manual. You go to the word help up here and go to reference manual. And then you can open this online manual. And I am in chapter 10, and it has these defined settings for the different fabric types. And so you can go in and look to see that for the F1 knit lightweight, here are the step, the satin, the underlay, and within each of those, you've got some layers and pull compensations. And you can see the settings for lettering, narrow satin, wide satin, and step fills. So to change a fabric, we're going to go in and see that we can go to Settings, Manage Fabrics, and create our own. So I'm going to move this away, and let's look at that. So the word Settings, Manage Fabrics, and once again we're looking at that same list of the 8 types. If we wanted to create a new fabric, that's where we could come in and create a fabric, and we could base it off of any of those styles. And we could call this fabric Video Fabric for this lesson. And we're going to base it on a knit lightweight, and we'll say OK. And I just wanted you to see what kind of settings we can change. So for each of those fabrics, it showed what would a step fancy fill look like, length and space, what kind of underlay, layer 1, layer 2. If it was on a wide satin, how would that look? A narrow satin, how would that look? For lettering, what did I want it to do? Stabilizers, what kind did I want used? And then I would say OK. And now I would have a new fabric called Video Fabric. I didn't actually change anything, but I could have changed all of that. So let's say that I had been stitching and decided that when I stitched it out, that the outline didn't really look nice against the object. It pulled, and the pull compensation was wrong. And so I would want to have gone in and changed some of those things. I'm going to bring the reference manual back over, and we're going to look at that again. And I want you to see some of these settings. So here it's talking about pull compensation and how does that affect when it stitches. And so you'll find a lot of information inside of your manual on how and what you're adjusting. And this is in chapter 10 of the online reference manual. So that is one kind of fabric. That is how to change it and how to make the stitches behave differently with the settings. The second kind of fabric, I'm going to go back into the word design. And the second kind of fabric is also available in both the Designer Plus and the Creator version. And that would be the background and display fabric. So I clicked the word design, background, and display. And if I come down, I have factory fabric and custom fabric. Now the factory fabrics are just some textures that they have put in, and it would give you a wool, a knit, a cotton. So let's see, this piqué would be quite visual. So I'm going to say okay, and you'll see that I have now like a golf shirt piqué texture, that visual texture. You'll also see, I'm going to go into the word background and display. I also could have made that a different color. And whenever you see more colors, if you click on that button, you also could get to where you entered an actual RGB or really customize this to something very specific that you wanted to see. So I could go into the standard. I can, do whatever it is that I want to do and get to a new color. So let's say that that new color, I wanted it lighter. So I can drag this and get new colors. So we're going to make this a very light pink. And if I needed the numbers from the color I chose, I could certainly record those. I'll say okay, okay. So now I visually have a pink piqué fabric. So then let's go into the design, background, and display colors. That was the factory fabrics, bringing up the textures that you can change the color of. And let's go into the custom fabrics. And I'm going to say browse. And this will take you to your photos. So I'm in the Bernina public pictures, Bernina 9 pictures, the fabrics. They have some fabrics that are just in the file. So here's a nice denim. And if I said okay, that would change to a denim, and I could see what my project would look like on a denim. I'm going to come back, background and display colors, custom fabrics, and browse. And I could also bring in pictures myself. So in this new folder, I just went to BERNINA and downloaded, copied, and saved a picture. And most of the manufacturers will let you do that. And I just copied a picture and put it in, and now I could use that as a background fabric if I wanted. Let me show you how that works. So let me bring over a web browser. I'm just going to go into BERNINA and BERNINA fabric collections. There we go. Let's get to their website, BERNINA Fabrics. and then fabric gallery, and let's just look at this heart-led life, and I'll scroll down and I'll click on these fabrics. And now once it's up, I left clicked, I'm going to right click, save image as, and I'm going to go to that fabrics folder in public pictures, BERNINA 9 pictures, fabrics, that new folder I did not rename. I'm going to just leave the number because that's the BERNINA number, and I'll say save. So now I don't need this BERNINA site anymore. I'm going to close and close. I'll come into the Word Design, Background and Display, Custom Fabric right here. Browse, I'm in that Public Pictures, BERNINA 9 Fabrics, that new folder, and here is that one that I just downloaded, and I'll say OK. And so there, it's very simple to bring in quite a few fabrics. So the thing that you can do in addition, if you are in Designer Plus, we have over here in our toolboxes, we have some applications. And in the applications, the Quilter program is a standalone program. Now, it is not standalone in the sense that you cannot open Quilter without version 9. You have to have version 9 open in order to open the Quilter program. But once I do open the Quilter, I have version 9 and I open the Quilter. This is not in Creator. Then I have the Quilter program. And in Designer Plus, with the Quilter program, I can also add fabrics. It's under File, Manage Fabrics. That will bring up my Fabric Library Manager. And here I can right-click on this side and say I want a new library. And it always puts a $sign in front. And I'm just going to call this video so that we know it was from today. And we'll say OK. And here it is right here. And when I open that one, I could import, and I'm going to find that one that we just looked at right here. That's the one, and I need to drop down File of Type, and I need to drop down and say All Files, and here's the one that I just imported, and I'll say Import, and now that is in this video folder. So I could add as many, in fact I could add multiple at a time. I'm going to close that. Now that is available to work with in Quilter, but I'm also going to close the Quilter program. I'm going to get a new blank design, and in Designer Plus I can, in Applique, I'm going to digitize an applique. I'm going to left, right, 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 enter, object properties, applique, applique fabric, and here is that brand new file right there that says video. So when I put it in the Quilter program, then I can use it in version 9 as a applique also. Oh, I did not have that selected. I'm sorry. So let's do that one more time. Applique. There's the video and the fabric I just did. You had to have the applique selected and say OK and apply. And there is that fabric that I just brought in. So that's what I want you to see today. 3 ways to work with fabric in BERNINA Designer Plus version 9, and 2 ways to work with fabric, the fabric styles, and the background fabrics in Creator. Okay, this is Shelly. So Shelly Quilts. Bye for now.